Want to learn what positive leverage and negative leverage actually mean in a real estate deal and how to calculate it for the specific deal that you're analyzing? If so, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. For first dibs on all new real estate financial modeling and career training videos, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Now, if you're a real estate investor or real estate investment professional, you've probably heard the terms positive and negative leverage when you're talking about debt on a real estate deal. But what do those terms actually mean, and how do you calculate those in Microsoft Excel to see if debt is going to help you in your deal or if debt might hurt you in your deal? Well, by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how to calculate positive versus negative leverage, and you'll be able to use this on the next real estate deal that you're analyzing. Now, in my career, I've worked for some of the biggest commercial real estate investment firms across the globe, and what I've seen is that this is a really important metric that many smaller investors don't necessarily take the time to look at. So what is positive leverage? Well, very simply put, positive leverage is just when your cash on cash return, so the cash in your pocket as a percentage of your total equity invested, is greater with a loan than without a loan. And negative leverage is the exact opposite of that. Your cash on cash return is going to decrease as you put more debt on the property. Now, what many people get wrong here is that this isn't just as simple as checking if your cap rate is greater than your interest rate. So to calculate this, you'll actually need to know your loan constant, which is your total annual loan payment, principal and interest, as a percentage of your total loan amount. Now, if the loan constant is higher than the cap rate, then you'll have negative leverage. If your loan constant is lower than the cap rate, then you'll have positive leverage. Now, if this seems confusing, don't worry, we're gonna jump into Excel now and go through an example of exactly how you can calculate this on your next real estate deal. All right, so now we're in Excel, and what I want to do is go over an example of what positive and negative leverage actually look like when you're doing a deal analysis. So what I've done here is I've put together a really basic sample deal. So we have a purchase price, a net operating income, a cap rate, and then we have our loan to value, loan amount, interest rate, amortization, and equity invested as a result of that. Then from that, we have our net operating income. We'll calculate our annual debt service, and then we have our cash flow after debt service. So what we need to do is calculate the leveraged cash on cash return, which is really going to be our cash in our pocket as a percentage of equity invested, including leverage or debt on the deal. So taking into account the loan that we get on the property and the debt service, and then the unleveraged cash on cash return. So that doesn't take into account any sort of loan at the property. So we're really taking the equivalent of what is going to be the cap rate. So let's start with our leveraged cash on cash return and build that out first. So what we're going to do to calculate this is take our cash flow after debt service, or this $202,000, because we need to incorporate that debt service in this, and divide it by our total equity invested, taking into account that loan amount of $6.5 million. So if I do that, I'm going to take B14 divided by B10, and when I hit enter, I get 5.79%. So essentially what this is saying is that our cash in our pocket as a percentage of this $3.5 million of equity invested is going to be 5.79%. So now let's calculate what the unleveraged cash on cash return is. And based on the information we have, all we really know is that the net operating income is $575,000 and the purchase price is $10 million, not taking into account any debt at the property. So to calculate this, what I'm going to do is take that net operating income and divide that by our purchase price, and that's going to give us a number that's identical to that cap rate. Now what you'll see is that I've built a formula in here to calculate if we have positive or negative leverage. Now positive leverage is going to occur when that leveraged cash on cash return is greater than the unleveraged cash on cash return. So our cash on cash is greater when we include debt on the property, taking into account our annual debt service. Now we'll have negative leverage if this leveraged cash on cash return is less than the unleveraged cash on cash return. So what if I change my interest rate in this scenario to say 4.75%? If I change this to 4.75%, you'll see my cash on cash return, if I put a loan on the property at these terms, is 4.8%. And that is less than the unleveraged cash on cash return of 5.75%. And in that case, we have negative leverage. So even though my interest rate is less than my cap rate, we're still going to have negative leverage in this scenario because of that cash on cash return. So that's how you would run an analysis to figure out if you had positive leverage on your deal or if you had negative leverage on your deal. All right, so now you know how to calculate if your deal has positive leverage or your deal has negative leverage, and you can make a decision on your debt based on these calculations. Now, if you clicked on this video, you're probably looking to beef up your real estate financial modeling skills, and I want to help. I've taught over 10,000 students real estate financial modeling so they can land better jobs and do their first deals. So what I've done is put together a 3-part real estate financial modeling crash course, and you can grab that for free in the link in the description below. So definitely check that out if you're looking to advance your real estate investment career or break into the industry for the first time altogether. So if you like this video, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with anyone else who might find this information helpful. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video.